Hey, good evening, everybody. This is the Encounter Brigade, and tonight, right now, you have myself, Captain Joe, and Angie. We are still waiting Johnny Two Bears to come on. He powered up his computer, and Bill Gates decided to throw a system update at him. And so last time I saw his computer screen, he was at 11%. But anyways, hey, you know what? We got a pretty exciting show, don't we, Angie?
That's exactly right. We have a very exciting show.
Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and just kick in this intro, and then while we do that, we're going to bring on we'll get our guests all lined up. Ready for the intro.
If suddenly there was a threat to this world from some other species, from another planet.
I was spotting down the firing range for several shooters when all of a sudden I saw a large, hairy creature walking from right to left.
We also know there are known unknowns. That is to say, we know there are some things we do not know. But there are also unknown unknowns. The ones we don't know, we don't know.
Encounter Brigade, welcome to the team.
Okay, we're back, folks, and Johnny Two Bears is still going through a system update. And anyways, we're going to bring on a special guest, and let me get her added here. So, hey, Kimber, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh man. Okay. So here on the screen, I go by Captain Joe, military rank, first name. I couldn't think of anything cool, and you've already got the cool gun name taken, Kimber. So I mean, and then we have Angie here with us.
Yeah, I'm just plain old Angie. Not
So-
Angie.
Yep, and our other counterpart is Johnny Two Bears, and he fired up his computer about 5 minutes ago, and Bill Gates decided to throw a system update on his computer. So he was at 11% update, but he'll be joining us shortly. But anyways, so it is kind of funny because I was telling Angie, I said, "Oh, wait until Kimber comes on because you two will have a battle royale of the most country accent." Yeah, sorry. I don't know, Kimber. You do have a pretty good thick Kentucky. I don't know. Would you call it Appalachian, maybe, or no?
I don't know. Honestly, I really don't.
Well, in the industry, we all the hunting and the outdoor industry, we all know you have a pretty good accent. So, but anyways, Kimber, thanks for coming on board. And it's so funny because I was telling Brian and Justin about you being on and whatnot, and of course they thought it was pretty funny, but they know my little side obsession thing with Bigfoot and Sasquatch, and it's a running joke. I mean, look at my shirt. I mean, I got a Bigfoot carrying golf clubs because obviously golf is another passion, and I got, even when I was at Walter Reed after the surgery, I had people sending me like Bigfoot gifts and all kinds of stuff. So, I might as well just run with it. But the exciting thing is, so we watch, obviously, if you watch the Discovery Channel, the Travel Channel, History Channel, there's a lot of Bigfoot shows, right? And I mean, heck, even Les Stroud, Survivor Man, did a whole series on it, and Joe Rogan. So yeah, it's a little bit more mainstream, or at least the topic is mainstream. So when you see these people on TV and shows like Expedition Bigfoot, Finding Bigfoot, Monster Quest, they're always setting up camera traps, right? Camera traps, and in our hunting industry, we call them deer cameras, game cameras. And sure enough, I thought, you know what, man, how great would it be to have a person from actual, camera company come on and talk to, the general public about these systems. And, like Angie the other night, we were sitting here talking, and, she does not know a lot about the technology. I mean, obviously there's tons of Facebook groups where you can see photos, like people, hey, I think there was a Bigfoot behind my corn feeder or whatnot, and we're kind of getting into that topic when Johnny joins us. But, I thought it'd be neat to have an expert such as yourself come on board and talk to us, the general public about, the technologies, behind it. So go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us about the Covert Scouting Cameras.
Well, I'm Kimber. I'm from Kentucky. That's where Covert's based out of. Been with the company since 2009. We've went through a couple changes through buyout, and which has been great, so I can't complain there. But the technology of the cameras, it's definitely changed since I started. It used to be where it would be just a camera that wrote pictures to the SD card. You had a remote that had to be plugged into it to actually make changes to it. Where now, what we see more than anything is the wireless cameras that send the picture right back to your app immediately. So that's kind of where it comes from and where it's at today.
Man, so I remember back in like late '99, 2000. I built I got a Canon Sure Shot. I had to take it apart, go find a garage light, and wire these things together just so, and then even that camera was like 35 millimeter, right? Then we had to go to Walmart and turn in the roll, and you got like 20 pictures of raccoons, 80 pictures of a leaf moving, and then and you had to sit there at the Walmart counter and tell the lady, I don't want that one, I only want to keep these 3, right? And so it's amazing to see how much the cameras have changed. I am a Covert customer. I have cameras on our farm, which is 45 minutes from my house, and a property over in Alabama. So I live obviously in Augusta, Georgia. We have some cameras in Illinois. And right now a property over in Kansas, and it's great because, like you said, on the app, I'm able to look at pictures of bucks and all the wildlife in all in all different states, even my own property, and I don't have to leave the house, spend gas or whatnot, so it's great that this system exists. Now, kind of talk to us about the picture quality in the coverts these days. Like the megapixels. I guess that's everything goes by, right?
It does. We still have cameras that go anywhere from 3 megapixels all the way up to 32 megapixels. And yes, it does make a difference. But the biggest part of that is it's really not going to make a big difference unless you're trying to blow that picture up. They say you're going to put it on a 12 by 12 wall. That's the only time where the megapixels really, really matter once you get up past probably 12.
Okay.
Now the picture quality that's saved to the SD cards, besides what's just sent to the app, they're better. The quality's better on it because you're getting a compressed picture when it's sent to the app. So even the pictures that we see every day from all the bucks and the wildlife and such on that app, they're good pictures, but if you really want a more high resolution image, you can pull that card from the camera and get better pictures.
Okay. So tell us, like Angie and some of her friends, they don't have game cameras, and they're interested in getting a few to put out, like whether in their backyard or into a research area where someone says, hey, I suspect I might have a Bigfoot in my backyard or in the woods or whatnot, so they decided, that, hey, I want to get a a camera. Obviously, you have the basic camera where it's just the SD card, right? And then you have to go out there at a point and check it.
Right.
And then all the way up to the cellular. Can you? It seems like the cellular is kind of like the new big thing, and that's kind of what people really are gravitating to. Can you talk to us about like the cellular technology, the carriers, and whatnot?
Yeah. So right now our cameras work off either AT&T or Verizon. It doesn't matter who your cell phone provider is, as long as you know that the signal in the area, whether it's AT&T or Verizon, works in that area. The camera will send pictures to your phone regardless who your carrier is. So it's kind of the way I kind of describe it most of the time. It's kind of like a text message. Just because I have a Verizon phone and you have an AT&T phone doesn't mean I can't text you. And that's kind of how the cameras work. So if I have a Verizon camera and I have Verizon signal here, it will send to any phone, no matter if it's Sprint, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, whatever else is out there, as long as there's signal with that camera where you're putting it. They're pretty simple. I mean, they've gotten a whole lot easier to set up. When I know back, I want to say 2014, actually it may have been 2012, you actually had to go to the AT&T store, because at that time that was the only one that we had providers with. You had to go to the store, buy a SIM card from them, get them to set something up. They had no idea how to set up, because they weren't familiar with anything besides phones. To now where everything comes with the camera. You have your SIM card with the camera, and all you have to do is log on to our website, our Covert site, and say, yep, this is my IMEI number, which is your base unit ID, and then your ICC ID number, which is the SIM card number. You have those, you're ready to go, and it doesn't take 5 minutes to set it up. And
Yep.
the cameras are ready to send pictures to you.
Yep. And all that's in the packaging, correct?
Oh, for sure.
Yep. Yep. Okay. So we did get a question from one of the Facebook users. Was asking, do you guys utilize IR illumination on them?
So it is our. We have two models now that has the red glow with the black lens over top of it. So you do get a faint red glow on, but the rest of our cameras are, we call it black flash. There's no light emitted whatsoever.
Okay. So in doing that, it's because the deer, do they see that illumination?
They do see it.
Okay.
I've not really seen issues with the red glow. Some people say that it'll spook the deer or spook the wildlife. To me, the solid black flash to me is better for security, because you or I, neither one can see it with our naked eye at night when you walk by it. Where the red glow, you can still see a faint glow with it being illuminated like that.
Okay. Okay. So the black.
A human would not know that they were in the picture. If it was to flash,
Right.
take a picture of, say, a trespasser, they would have
Right.
no idea their picture was taken. But a deer would know something just happened, but not a human, not the human eye.
With the now I can't answer that 100% on the black flash. I don't know if a deer's eyes can see that or not. I don't know the answer. But now the red glow, I know they can see.
Okay.
And just like we can see.
Gotcha. And the cameras, I mean, they don't sound like the old film cameras. They're pretty silent, you know. I mean, I never hear mine go off, you know. So I don't think there's a sound that spooks an animal, correct?
Right. The only
Yeah.
time you ever hear a noise is really dusk and dawn, and that's usually when the filter is swapping. Basically, so it's swapping from daytime pictures to nighttime pictures, because your nighttime pictures are black and white, and your daytime pictures are color. And I don't always hear it, but every once in a while you can hear it swap.
Okay. So with the cellular, you have AT&T or Verizon, and you download an app off the Covert site, right? Covert Wireless, right? And then it goes on your phone, an iPad, computer, and then you have you could pick, obviously. I think all the systems operate the same way. You have like a plan, right? You pick out how much you plan on using. You know, like with me, I keep ours going year round. You know, so you can, you know, and I know that I'm going to get a lot of pictures of raccoons or or hogs or whatnot, you know. But you know what? Last fall, you guys came up with a pretty cool facial recognition software for animals, correct?
Wow.
Right. It's a software recognition that is just for bucks, does, bear, humans, vehicles, hogs. I don't know if I said bears, but bears too. So anything that walks by, it goes through the software recognition program, and then it tells you on the app what's in that. So if I wake up in the morning and I'm deer hunting, so if I wake up in the morning and I have 400 pictures on one camera, I go to that camera and I say I only want to look at the buck pictures. I hit the buck icon, and it only shows me the buck pictures.
Really?
So that feature's really nice, because that way I don't have to sit there and scroll through every doe that's on that.
So there's actually something where you can just select human, and so would like an 8-foot or 9-foot or 10-foot human, would that be picked up?
I would assume that would be picked up as a human. I mean, if not, then it would classify it as other.
Oh, there is an other.
There is.
Really? See, how about that, Angie? So
That is unique. That is very unique. That's amazing.
Now, is Covert the only system that has that recognition? I mean, I've not seen it on anything else.
I think there's a couple others that have some of the animal recognition. I'm not sure what they all have.
Wow. Okay. So we had another question about like what type of batteries do the units take?
All of them take AA's.
AA's. Now, so this is what I do, and I'm by no means an expert. So I use rechargeable batteries, and then I buy the 6-volt rechargeable, and then the solar kit, right? So I was telling Johnny and Angie last week that I have a camera that I set out on a power line here last September, and that thing is still running. You know, I mean, it's like in the most perfect spot. It catches the right amount of daylight sun, and you know, I've watched the food plot grow so high that now the deer pretty much walk right over the camera to get it to go off. But I mean, it's still running off of that. I hate that redneck system I have, you know, and but you know, I got the wiring harness from y'all off the website, you know. I mean, is that a typical function? I mean, have you heard people getting that much use?
Yep.
Okay.
The solar panel on the rechargeable AA's and the 6-volt battery definitely will last. We've had some out for over a year on the same set of AA's and the 6-volt and 4-volt battery as well. I think we don't sell quite as many of that whole entire system. I know that more people are just using standard AA batteries, but you're getting so much more battery life out of that solar panel that it's a smart purchase for sure.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So Johnny Two Bears just joined in.
Hello. I'm just kind of sitting over here creeping. Sorry about that, Kimber.
No, you're good.
I am not a computer person like yourself. I am terrible with technology, and my computer decided to do an update, and it is 21%. So I'm using my phone. So, but thank you for coming, despite my tardiness.
Yeah. So Johnny, we just kind of talked about the technology, the cellular cameras, you know, that Covert and Kimber's company has out, you know, and the wireless carriers, and then she just talked about the animal or facial recognition software that they have, you know, so it can,
really?
You know, yes, and
oh man, I missed a good part then. That's terrible.
Well, but yeah, so it actually has and I wasn't aware because I'm always only looking for bucks, really, right? And you know, guilty, and but you know, there's this where it will pick up a human form, correct, Kimber? Right? So there you go. If you set one out in your research area.
What? That's amazing. What? Which camera is this in?
So it'll work with any of our wireless cameras that will go to the app. So basically anything that's LTE will work with the app.
That is awesome. I didn't even know that existed.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the listeners and the Bigfoot community probably don't know that. You know, I think most folks, you know, pretty basic about it. You know, they just go get cameras, you know, and they set it out, and
Yeah, that's
you know, so that's what's neat about having someone like Kimber, you know, come on and actually explain these things, you know. So Kimber, camera placement. Can you talk about that? I mean, as far as people want to capture pictures of wildlife, you know, I mean, you know, do you go through the whole process of hiding the cameras or putting it out in the open? And, you know, one way to keep the deer from spawning, because it seems like whenever I put some out, like chest high, then the deer are just looking straight at the camera.
yeah.
You know,
I've had the same thing.
and go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I think they notice it as well. I do think the placement's gonna change depending on where you're at. So if we're hunting, putting the cameras out for hunting, I would say that most of mine are honestly just about a little over waist high. I still see that deer do notice that the cameras are there, but usually if you have food out, you can bait in Kentucky. So if you have food out, they really don't care too much. But
Yep.
and most of my cameras are on private land. So
Yeah.
if I'm hunting public land, I'd probably set it up a little different. I would probably put it up higher to keep people, not put it at eye level for step, basically.
Yeah. So in the and Johnny, you talk with a lot of the Bigfoot researchers, the folks out in the field and whatnot. You know, there's always this big debate that, you know, these folk, a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch type animal can see the lights or the
infrared,
the beam. Now, Kimber, how do the cameras actually work? You know, so I have my camera and it's set up on a tree, and what makes it go off when the deer or something walks in front of it?
So it's got a PIR sensor in it, and that's where you'll see that little.
Now what does that stand for? PIR?
Passive
Infrared. Okay.
So that's what triggers it. So basically, anytime something walks by, it takes a picture. Depending on which camera it is, you're looking at less than 0.2 seconds to right under a second. So they're pretty fast trigger speeds, but it all depends on where the angle that they come in as well. Because most of our cameras have a 52-degree angle, but I think some of them are 58 as well.
Okay.
Well, that's kind of my main question too, is on the angle.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously not coming out in one beam, or else you wouldn't get the whole angle. Is it kind of like LiDAR, where it's a whole bunch of separate beams? Or is it just like one big?
The way that PIR sensor cover works is it cover, like the side that you look at as a consumer, it's solid and it's clear, or it's not clear, it's black, but it's smooth. Well, on the inside of that has several different lines of how it's actually, what makes it pick up. So yes, that's kind of how it works. So you're looking at it at an angle at 52 degrees. That's anything that comes in at that point, you can pick up.
Right. And basically, it's just bouncing.
I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to get the exact. I mean, I hunt and I know how they work, but I don't know the intricacies like you do on the inside of them. Like when this. So is shooting this infrared beam out, and is it the reflection of the beam back, or breaking the plane of the beam? What exactly is it sensing?
Like a.
It works off heat and motion. So that's how it works. It's heat and motion is what triggers. So you're not going to ever see any type of thing like that. That's how the infrared lights work, is you're getting a better light with reflection, because it is that black flash. So it's whatever the black flash that it sends out that we don't see is it's reflecting back off of anything that's out in front of it. Leaves, deer, whatever it is, it's out there. That's what it's reflecting back. But on the iron side, it's just hard to explain that exactly, but it's all heat and motion.
Okay. Okay. So Kimber, some folks in the Bigfoot community believe that there's something about the cameras or something the cameras are emitting that they believe a Bigfoot type animal. And I've heard this with wolves because I met a gentleman up in Washington State many years ago that was doing a research, and he was from Europe. And he had told me he had studied wolves in Europe where they were in a 5-acre enclosure, and from the wolves to go from point A to point B being where the food was, they had set up camera traps amongst trees and posts and pretty much made a maze, and these wolves had to figure out how to get to pork chops or whatever, and they would not pass in front of these cameras because they could sense something. And I don't know if it's something within the wolves, but the gentleman was saying there's something about the cameras. And now these are the old cameras now, and so you're saying like these newer ones, there's not like an IR beam. So like in the military, and Johnny and I, Johnny was in the Marines, I was in the Army. When you wear night vision goggles, you can see like an IR laser, and like when you go coyote hunting, right, with thermals or night vision, you have that IR beam, but there's no IR beam coming out of the cameras, right? Oh, okay. Well, that's something. Okay, did not know that. So it's the body heat of an animal, or the motion out in front of the camera. Okay, interesting.
Well, I've got a buddy of mine, and Joe may have already touched on this. Have you touched on his problems?
No, I have not.
I've got a buddy that helps us out. He's actually seen these creatures on his property through thermal a couple times, and he's got some really nice. They're solar they're solar powered with battery backups. Really nice cameras. He's got, I think, like 3 or 4 different brands of these cameras. And he's having problems constantly with the batteries just draining in like 24 hours. The SIM cards are frying. And it's coming from you can't figure out what's going on. I've never seen someone with so many problems in my life. And he actually had, I don't know if you looked at the page at all, but he actually sent in a picture of this ball of light that one of the cameras caught. And a lot of this stuff is speculation. We really don't know what's going on. We don't know if it has anything to do with Bigfoot, maybe some other phenomenon. We just simply don't know. Nobody knows. But somebody suggested to him, the little plastic dividers I say Trapper Keeper because I'm 100 years old, but back when we had Trapper Keepers, the little plastic see-through dividers, well, he actually cut a blue triangle out of it and covered up the sensor. And supposedly that is supposed to help some way, somehow. I'm not really sure what that would do. You have any idea what that would do?
Well, if you're talking about like the light sensor to tell whether it's supposed to be day or night, I mean, if you cover that up, you're going to constantly get either complete black pictures because it doesn't realize that or you're going to get or black and white pictures all the time.
I think it's actually the sensor that would pick up the motion is where he puts it. Because the IR flash itself is not going to go off until something happens. So there'd be no real reason to cover it.
What was his reason to cover it?
Because there is speculation, because nobody can get pictures or good pictures of these things, that somehow, some way, they're seeing whatever's coming out of the front, the sensor, the lasers that's coming out of the front. So I didn't know if you knew if there was any kind of, I don't know, what that would accomplish.
That's the first time I've heard of that, so that's definitely something that I don't know the answer to.
Right. Well, I think some of these things are, people are just trying different things, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And I don't know, there's other people who think that, like we've got a group of friends that when they were out on an investigation, they were getting hit with a bunch of RF. They had tri-field meters on them. And when these creatures were around, they were getting hit with a ton of RF. It was pegging the meter out. So would RF mess with cameras?
Not that I know of, but then again, I don't know.
Again, I know these are crazy questions. I understand. It's how are you supposed to know? But just trying to figure out, why in the world there's so many cameras out there, but nobody can really get a good picture. And then people are like, well, it doesn't exist. Well, it does exist because we've seen them. So there's something that's somehow, some way, whether they're seeing something coming off the camera, they're smelling it, or it's just like somebody coming and putting a potted plant in the middle of my living room, I'm going to notice. But
So
we're missing something.
So that brings me up to a good point. You talk about smell, and Kimber, bears smell cameras. That's right. There's something about electronics that they can smell. They like to chew on, and that's I don't know. That's why Covert makes those metal bear cases. Correct.
Right.
Right.
So they actually eat the cameras.
Yes. Yeah.
That would suck.
Well,
I think
but
it's from where they're baiting. They're putting all the bait out, and then they go mess with the cameras. So they're getting the smell of that bait on the front of the
it smells like donuts. Okay. Well.
Oh, there you go. Mystery solved.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Andy.
If someone has the camera that you have the app for that you can use your cell phone, well, one person has asked, is a video an option?
Yes. On some of the cameras, video is an option.
Okay.
So what it will do, it will send you the first frame of that picture, and if you decide you want to download the video, you just hit download the video, and it will come back to you.
Okay.
Because there is an extra charge with video.
And say I had a camera, 100 miles away, and I'm wondering if it's raining. Can I make it send me a picture without, can I tell it to send me a picture? I just want to see what's going on right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Some of the cameras you're able to do that with as well. Not all of the wireless cameras. There's different models you can do video with, and there's different models that you can request. We call it real-time images. Request real-time images.
Okay. And you just pay a monthly membership for the plan. Okay.
Or annual, right?
You can do.
Yeah.
Right now, you can do monthly, quarterly, or yearly plans.
Yeah.
And there are some extras on the add-ons now. The image recognition, that's an add-on, a yearly add-on or a monthly add-on. And then say you request a real-time image, it's an extra $3 per picture that you request. And then the video, I believe if you download the video from the app, it's an extra 7 cents per video that you download.
So it better be a big Sasquatch to download that video.
7 cents.
Yeah, 7 cents
Dadgummit.
to prove to the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At this point, I think I'd pay 7 cents. It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah. So Kimber, where can people go find out more about Covert Scouting Cameras, the products, and whatnot?
They can go to our website. It's covertscoutingcameras.com. That should take you right there to it.
Okay, good deal. And I know one great thing that I really like about Covert is when I was new to using the cellular cameras, that when I had problems trying to set up, you actually be able to call and talk to a live human being, and you guys help this Georgia redneck get his camera set up, so that's nice. So
y'all probably have to send somebody to my house. And be like, look, hey, it's in the backyard.
Well, yeah. Kimber, the last 2 weeks there has been a series of photos floating around on a lot of Bigfoot pages of I don't know if it's a hunter or somebody that placed a camera on a structure. And Johnny and Angie, you guys have seen this picture, and sure enough, you see this thing, I mean, at one point it looks like a big ape, and then the other, at close up, it looks like someone in a ghillie suit or raggedy cloak standing out in front of the camera.
Are you talking about the one that Angie put up maybe last week, I believe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Oh,
And-
no, he's talking about the one that the guy puts up the camera and catches that, where it's got all that stuff hanging from its face. Is that the one you're talking about, Joe?
I know the one
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
It looks like a dude to me.
Yeah.
Me too.
So, when I look at that, and I think about how game cameras work. So obviously, the first set of pictures that was published were this thing was behind like a log jam or like a log structure or whatnot. So it obviously caught movement and took a picture. And then the next thing, this thing's kind of more or less just standing there looking at the camera.
Right. A Bigfoot's not going to fall for that close. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I think that, if I was going to try to hide something from an animal that's 7 foot, 8 foot tall, I'd bring a small ladder to the woods and put it up high, right, and make it point down. Does that sound legit, Kimber? Does that sound like a? Because I'm doing that with my deer cameras now. 1, to prevent theft. 2, to get it out of their line of sight, and 3, obviously for the scent. I mean, so if you kind of agree that's kind of a better placement idea, as far as like getting things out of line of sight and minimizing scent. Okay, good deal. Lithium batteries. That was a question that was asked. Is it the lithium batteries that make bears want to eat the cameras?
No, she already solved that.
Yeah. It's the donuts.
It's the donut fingers.
Okay.
We have another question. Someone wants to know what's the basic size of the cameras, like a general idea.
We have one camera, our MP9, that runs off 4 batteries, and I want to say it may be 3 inches tall. I mean, it's like this big. So
that would be a really good. That
Yeah.
size would be perfect.
So,
actually.
yeah. So Kimber, you got some cameras behind you. Can you hold one and show people?
here's one that's, this will be a wireless camera. I don't have an MP9 in here. This is probably our biggest camera that we have. And it's,
Well, that's still not very big though. That's good.
no. And that's, honestly, I think that's the biggest wireless camera that I have in our lineup.
Okay.
So, are the one that you said that was only about that big, is that one wireless too? We're gonna go.
That
with
one is not.
Obviously, it's not.
That was just going to be a standard non-wireless camera.
What is the range on that? The detection range? Do you know, offhand?
I believe all of our cameras, and some of these are newer products to me this year, but I believe all of our cameras we say like 60 feet on picking up. Now, obviously, the closer the better, because the better picture you're going to get. But 60 feet is plenty, and our flash range on the night stuff, or the black flash that we call it, it'll go up to at least 100 feet on most of them.
Good Lord. Well, that's really good.
Yep. So Kimber, I still have like the Co-Black 20 LTE. I haven't put it up yet because it's so hot, and I'm still kind of dealing with my prosthetic leg. I'll get it out here shortly. But it says like GPS capability on here. Now that's explain that.
So the Co-Blacks and Blackhawks, that's our high-end wireless cameras. Retail at $299.99. And it does have a GPS capability. So what that basically means is that as long as the camera is turned on, so as long as it has power to it, it can pick up the coordinates from the last picture that was sent.
Ooh.
So
So if someone takes it,
right.
and they take it to their house,
And
and
you
they
can make it take a picture, remember? You can make it, tell it when to,
oh, okay.
yeah,
if they leave
make
the
it take a
camera
picture.
turned on, it will do that. So if they turn it off before they take it, and then they take it with them somewhere, say to their house or whatnot, and they turn it on, and it sends a picture, then yes, it should pick up the new GPS coordinates of exactly where it's at.
Oh
And
man.
That's great.
Yep. Whether
That's
it be
very handy.
whether it be someone's cul-de-sac or someone's cave, I'm coming. I'm coming to get my damn camera.
Do the cameras only face straight forward?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've had wide angle cameras in the past where it had the 180 degree. They didn't seem to sell as well, so we've kind of phased those out and went back to just the standard.
You know, I bought something that was really, really, really cool in theory, but you ever heard of it was the 360 trail cam?
Yes.
Do you know who made it? Wasn't you guys that made it, was it?
No, I think that was Wild Game.
Okay, good. Good, because they're terrible. They don't work. But I want to make sure it wasn't you guys first. It's a really good idea, but it would not connect. It would not stay connected. And the only way to view it, I mean, it's really cool because you look at everything on your phone and then you can move it around, you know, back and forth and set it up behind you. It's basically what it is to see if anything's coming up behind you. Really, really, really great idea. And it was only like $80, but it was a piece of junk. So I'm glad you guys didn't make that. Good job. But do y'all have anything like that?
No, everything we have now, like I said earlier, was most of them are 52 degrees and then some are 58. But I think that, as off the top of my head, I think that's our widest one right now is 58 degrees.
So what is your best seller, Kimber? I mean, what is most of all the landowners, whether it be hunting clubs or whatnot, you know, where do they kind of gravitate to? The cellular cameras, or?
We sell more cellular cameras than we do anything. And,
Okay.
and to be honest with you, the last several years, I know that the market's changing, that everybody wants cheapest thing they can get, cheapest wireless camera I can get. But I will tell you that over the last couple of years, even with having lower priced wireless cameras, this year's the first year we've come out with one that's right at $150 retail. But I still see that most people tend to go to the higher end because if you're going to put a camera out, especially some of these deer hunters they're serious about it and they want the best of the best. So if they're not going to buy the cheapest thing on the market, they're going to buy the best on the market because that's what works. And that's what I'm told pretty much on a daily basis.
That's right. That's right.
On the ones with video, let's say your high-end camera, how long can you run a video? If I want to look at it, how long will it do it until the battery runs out?
It's only going to send you up to a 5-second video.
Okay.
It will take up to a minute video, 60 seconds, but it will only send the first 5 seconds of that video to the app. And the main reason with that is because how much data and how much battery life it takes to do that.
Yeah, I would imagine.
But can you still get the other 55 seconds of the video if you want it? I mean, if a Sasquatch comes into the view, I want the whole 60 seconds.
Oh, you're going to get...
actually go pull the SD card from the camera.
That's right. And make a copy before make copies of it. Yeah, exactly.
Before the government catches this.
Yeah.
So it will record
the
whole time. You just can't get it sent to you. It'll still be on the SD card.
Yeah.
You can set your camera to take up to a 1-minute video at a time, an interval. And then how videos work is basically if you're going to have it on a 60-second video, you definitely want to have at least a 2-minute interval. You want to double your trigger interval on all videos because it takes a while to take the video and then write the video to the SD card, and then if you're going to send it, it's got to send that picture too. So if it's a wireless camera, it's got to send at least that first frame of the video, and then that's when you decide I want to download that video or not.
Right.
That makes sense.
Oh yeah, because that would probably be one of the most useful parts of the camera is the video capabilities itself. I mean, pictures are good, but you may get you know, you get one snapshot of something that's messing around with the camera, you're not really going to be able to put a picture together. But if you can record it, I mean, that's really good. That's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, hey, that's good information about giving like a 2-minute break in between the 1-minute video. That way the camera can do all of its stuff, and you know, you're not draining batteries or, that's pretty good information. Man.
Yeah, and I don't want to be rude, but can you tell me the part I missed about the facial recognition?
So what it is,
Because that's extremely cool.
It's software recognition, and we have, I believe, 8 different categories. It's doe, buck, turkey, bear, hog, human, vehicle, and other. So there is 8. So basically what that means, like for me, I'm deer hunting. So if I wake up in the morning and I have 400 pictures on one camera, I can click on that camera, and then if I only want to see the buck pictures, which I'm definitely guilty of, I click on the buck icon, and it shows me all the buck pictures. And I don't have to filter through all the does and all the babies out there at that moment. And then the same way with vehicles or humans. So if I'm using it for security and I want to see vehicles that come through, I click vehicle. If I want to see humans walk by, I can click on humans. But it records all the pictures. It writes all the pictures on the SD card. It sends you all the pictures. It just filters it for you, basically, is what it does.
Not bad. I like it.
Yeah, I'm pleased to find out how affordable they were. I mean, I've never shopped for game cameras, but I didn't realize they were that affordable. I mean, especially if you're a homeowner and you might want them for, you know, trespassing reasons, even if you don't hunt.
So these.
Oh, yep. There goes John. Yep. There goes old Zuckerberg getting on old Johnny again. He must have said something. He must have done something. No. Johnny, if you could hear us.
Link to the picture.
Yeah. If you can hear us, Johnny, you kind of cut out. So your phone. Kimber, is there a 800 number that if someone has a question about what type of model they may want to get, but to best suit their needs, is there a phone number they can call to reach your folks?
Yes, sir. It's 877-462-17.